I think the biggest challenge about renewables is the attributes of renewables themselves. I mean, we've had electricity generation from wind, for example, is well over 100 years old. It's nothing new. It's more efficient now than it was before, but we've had wind for a long time. We've had solar for not as long, but it's been around for a while. The biggest problem is the way the electricity grid works is that demand and supply has to meet pretty darn close all the time. And the problem is that wind doesn't do that. You know, wind blows frequently the most in the middle of the night. That's when demand is very low. It doesn't blow in the middle of the day. During those hot summer days when you get, when electricity demand is skyrocketing, wind is nowhere to be seen. And that's the biggest challenge. One of the
technology can handle with batteries and so forth. I mean, there are ways to mitigate that, right?
There are ways to mitigate it, but they are incredibly expensive as opposed to merely expensive. And that's the challenge with wind and some of these other intermittent sources in the future, is that there needs to be some pretty significant technological advances and technological revolutions. It would be good if, like the production tax credit, instead of just providing incentive to produce wind at any time, day or night, if it gave greater incentive for wind energy to be used when rates were highest. As it is right now, the wind guys, when the wind is blowing, when the wind is strong and electricity rates are really low in the middle of the night, the wind guys frequently pay the electrical grid to take their electricity. And the reason is because they're still coming out ahead through the federal production tax credit. So it's one of what trumps in the end is for the energy sources to be cost effective. I mean, in the long run, that's what's going to happen. And you know, whether or not government policies can help with that's another story. They haven't necessarily been successful at that in the past. But you know, history shows that what people are going to use are the sources of energy that are cost effective.
Well, I think we shouldn't underestimate smart government policy aimed at accomplishing certain goals that the market is not accomplishing on its own. I mean, one of the reasons why we have as much shale gas at all is in the 1970s, the Department of Energy invested in research in hydraulic fracturing. And we were able to then move it from the laboratory into the market to take advantage of that today. You've seen from the Obama administration similar and frankly more significant efforts towards spurring innovation across a whole fleet of renewable technologies as well as energy storage. And while over the short to medium term we certainly will see more natural gas coming online, as we are also seeing a lot more renewables come online, I think the important thing, one of the important roles the federal government can play is to continue to incentivize the development of utility scale energy storage, the creative policies around bringing electric vehicles online so that you can start using all of the batteries that are plugged into the grid to start helping out with some of the intermittency issues that are currently present, but will become less and less of a problem if you can balance the load a little bit more.